Welcome to the Power Up. I'm your host, Tami Hill Thomas. Grateful to have another opportunity to connect with my family worldwide. The Power Up production team and I are grateful and glad to bring you important information to educate, empower, elevate, and equip you to make a difference where you are. Because that's what matters, right? That we all come together to be difference makers in the different little worlds that we exist in, so that this planet at large and the generations to come are better for what we're doing. Let's jump right into a great show with Inside the News. Scientists have found a major cure as to why 4 out of 5 autoimmune patients are women. This is important information because so many of the over 100 autoimmune diseases are undiagnosed or misdiagnosed, and many are untreated or overtreated because the information is just starting to become relevant. So we're grateful that scientists around the world have come together to address what the causes are and how we can find a cure. So, an international team led by scientists at Stanford University have discovered a probable explanation for a decade-old biological mystery: why vastly more women than men suffer from autoimmune diseases such as lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. The Washington Post elevated this article because of its importance. Congress recently passing a bill to make sure to put money towards finding cures for autoimmune diseases, even dedicating a national rare autoimmune foundation. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. But let's highlight what the news is sharing. Women account for almost 80% of the people affected by autoimmune diseases, a collection of more than 100 ailments that burden a combined 50 million Americans. This is according to the nonprofit Autoimmune Association. The association, which advocates and pioneers information and shares valuable resources just on the vast amount, the multiple autoimmune disorders. You can get more information by going to the Autoimmune Association at autoimmune.org. They have ready information, facts, statistics, and they're a network. Are you dealing with an autoimmune disorder? Your family member, someone you love so dearly, and you just need to be educated? Go to autoimmune.org. Really important information because it gives a better understanding of why the chromosomes, women typically have two X chromosomes, while men usually have an X and a Y, and what they have to do with autoimmune disorders. Scientists delved so deeply into this that they found that the X's generate strange molecular compositions. Come on, somebody, that are inside women versus men. Although scientists have conducted more of their research on mice and on small entities, right, on those animals, not so much on humans, they were able to get long strains of DNA and protein samples. They were able to see responses through chemical imbalances that are linked also and found in women. Family, this is important information because autoimmune diseases have long proved difficult to address. Treatments are limited, and many diseases are chronic, requiring lifelong management. Most have no cure, leaving millions of Americans hoping that science will eventually offer an explanation for these ailments. This is also important because it explains a lot of why pharmaceutical industries get the business that they do. Sometimes people think that individuals are just addicted to drugs. I want to clarify what's shared from scientists. There are, for some diseases, no cure, leaving individuals to have to live with what they are experiencing. The overwhelming pain, the shame, the burden, the criticism, all of the judgment that comes because their body's doing something they can't control. I'm a living witness, having lived with lupus and Sjogren's syndrome that caused me to lose my thyroid. That had it not been for a team of medical professionals that came together and worked closely to figure out what would treat me, not just the emerging issue, I would not be here today. We also want to remind you that at one of the key, we talk about lupus often. There's another one though, Sjogren's syndrome, that I just shared that I live with. Sjogren's syndrome was elevated when Venus Williams, the American tennis superstar, was in the middle of her Wimbledon championship and was hospitalized. She could no longer play. Venus Williams became a huge advocate for Sjogren's syndrome because it impacts the body in a way where your body is attacking itself. That includes organs, tissues, tendons, oh yes, your brain and heart health. Remember, your autoimmune system is what helps you in that fight flight moment where you react without thinking about it. It also is your number one frontline fighter when it comes to a cold, the flu. That's why so many succumbed to the pandemic, to the COVID-19 that went through and swept our land, because there were some who did not know, had multiple diseases, were just unsure. So having lived through Sjogren's syndrome and lupus and Graves' disease, I deal with the fact that it's also proven that many autoimmune disorders come in twos and threes. Very rarely, in other words, will you meet someone who's dealing with rheumatoid arthritis and doesn't have something else going on. Family, over 100 disorders. Wow. Go to autoimmune.org and get educated today. Figure out how you can donate and help advocate so that you can be a voice to those who need your help. Also, feel free to go to Sjogren's Foundation at sjogrens.org. That J is pronounced as H. Sjogrens.org, and learn more about Sjogren's syndrome. The facts about Sjogren's syndrome is they attack more of your face. So when you see people with those patches who deal with dry eye and dry mouth constantly, who have horrible dental issues, maybe degenerative gum disease, who then deal with issues in their throat because, hey, ear, nose, throat, they're all connected. You can find that some things feed into others. People just think I'm using a whole lot of eye drops for no reason. Get educated today. The Sjogren's Foundation is also available to give you statistics, facts, and connect you with a network of others who might be living with the same thing. And if you're a social media buff, listen, connect with your brothers and sisters on social media and figure out how to win at life in spite of what the thorn in your side might be. We're all dealing with something. It's about being empowered and educated. Sjogrens.org and autoimmune.org. Both available, ready resources. And thank you to the Washington Post for elevating the news that scientists are finally making breakthroughs. Family, wow, information, knowledge is power. If you stay tuned, we have such a powerful guest coming, and we're going to delve deeply into her advocacy and how she uses her platform for change. Stay tuned. There's more after this.
Hey everybody, this is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner on Empowered Mornings. We'd like to invite you every Wednesday night, 8 p.m., uniquely and gorgeous, to keep your mind locked and loaded on WIN Network.
What's up, family? It's your girl, Terry Y. Hicks, and I am here to invite you to join me every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Midday Miracles and Manna right here on We Empower Network.
Welcome back to the Power Up. We're so excited to bring forth an amazing, special human being, selfless in her own right, hailing from Austin, Texas. The Power Up team is so glad to welcome Miss Empress Bay, who is a celebrity stylist and a health advocate. Empress has been with us in previously where she has shared her advocacy as someone who has also lived with autoimmune disorders, someone who has been in the fight and the forefront of how to use celebrity connections and that billion-dollar platform to make sure that you share the knowledge with others. Empress, welcome. We are so glad
Hello,
to have
gorgeous.
you.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, and we're so glad that
Okay,
you're joining us
perfect.
today.
I just want to share. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to
No,
be
okay. There
here. They're
seems to
doing
be a
so much
little bit,
construction. I was like, hopefully they're going to be able to hear me. Good.
it's okay. We're going to take this interview
Well, I'm so
slowly.
grateful to be here. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I, 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 I honor you. I appreciate you. I value you so much, and just how knowledgeable you are, and even from you checking on me, it's early in the interview, but it means a lot because sometimes it does get hard. So just the little text messages, they're not even little, they're a lot. And people check on me. I don't get that all the time. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. So I am going to do, if our production team is okay with us moving forward, we're just going to keep our conversation. I can see there's a little delay on my side. I don't know if it's just technical issues. So if we lose you, we're going to bring you right on back. It's okay. So Empress, let's talk about your health advocacy. Please share your story and how you use your voice to make a difference.
Yes, well, thank you so much for that. So for me, I was actually from first. That was the first diagnosis. And so having the symptoms of lupus. And so my mom, we gotta not, can you see me now?
Yes. Let's do this, family. We're going to have Empress go out and come back in, because when I tell you she is a heart and a force to be reckoned with when it comes to making a difference, we're going to let you, if you could, just try one more time. Maybe rejoining will help with the buffering and the lagging. And let's do this, production team. Is it all right? We're going to go ahead into responding to a viewer question, and we're going to come back to Empress right after this. So let's take a quick commercial break and go into our motivation moment, see if we can get Empress back, and then we'll have a wonderful dialogue. Stay tuned, family. We'll be right back.
What's up, family? It's the girl, Terry Y. Hicks, 1/5 of the amazing queens of empowerment from the Empowered Morning Show. And I am here to personally invite you to join us for the premiere of our brand new show, Queens of Behavior. That's right. We have a brand new show coming out. And before the world gets to see it, we want you to see it. So join us April 27th at 8 p.m. in Douglasville, Georgia at Studio T on Chapel Hill Road for the premiere of Queens of Behavior. It's a red carpet event, so make sure you dress for the occasion. We can't wait to see you there.
Welcome back to the Power Up family. One thing you'll know about our amazing, exceptional, excellent production team is we don't stop. We understand there are technology glitches and that things happen, but the information we're here to share is far too important. So thank you for staying tuned. Let's keep on going with the show. We are going to welcome Miss Empress Bay back when her technology is working. Feel free, production team, to interrupt me when she's available. I want to take a minute, though, and let's talk about a viewer inquiry that we received. We had a viewer that sent an email that said, Tami, I thank you for your show and all the motivation. However, I'm going through a major change. How do I adapt to it? And I feel like they're leaving me behind. Okay, that's a short version of what her long email was, or his long email was. First, one of the great things about the email is that you understand that you have to adapt. That's a plus. Change is going to happen. Nothing stays the same. So the fact that you acknowledge where you are, that there's something happening that you feel like you're being left out of, is the first thing to celebrate, to understand there's something that's going on. I've got to get out there and I've got to master this thing. Take the moment while you're dealing with the change to understand how you can adapt and what exactly you need to shift. Does it mean location? Does it mean that maybe you receiving a pink slip and the job is changing? Does it mean that your income is about to be impacted? So now you've got to look for a new source of a way to eat and keep the lights on. Or is it something that's future focused as a change? In the next 60 days, this is going to happen, which gives you a little bit more time to develop a plan that works for you. But you said it in your email. Adaptability is everything. See, we often forget that change is good. It means growth is happening, and you're still here to experience it. I mentioned earlier about a pandemic swept millions of our loved ones and neighbors off the face of the earth. They weren't prepared. It was unplanned, didn't know about it. But we were so put in a place where now we've learned how to adjust. See, the lessons we can learn from being in a shut down place like a pandemic, having to stay home, having to figure out how to function with what we have and those around us. See, we went from dropping off the kids, going to work, commuting, picking up the kids, coming back home dinner, to all day, every day, doing it right there with the kids. At the table doing homework while the husband was in the bedroom on the laptop while you were trying to find a space for your meetings and taking care of mama who's home. And there's so many things that we learned from that experience. How do you adapt? Grow in it. And remember, always grow forward. See, falling is okay. If you feel like this change is something that's knocking the wind out of you, sometimes change will do that. We get unwarranted, unwelcome changes, especially those that are in corporate industries or that are subject to other influences outside of us. You can wake up every morning with a plan and then something happens. You adapt. If you fall and hurt yourself on the way to work, you don't still go to work with a broken leg. You adapt. You make a change in your plan to address what you need to in that moment. And that is totally okay, because as long as your leg gets addressed, You'll be better off once you get through the crutches, through the physical therapy, through the rehab, whatever it takes, right? And then on the other side, a year from now, you'll say, man, I made it through that. And now you're wiser with what that whole experience involved. Family, remember that you don't let yesterday take up too much of your today. So don't allow the fact that the change has to happen be where you get stuck. There are heavy changes, such as bereavement, that we deal with. And that's not something you can put a timetable on. When you lose a loved one, it takes a minute, years even. Every time you have that smell come across, every holiday, there are some things that will never be the same. But you adapt to the fact that you know that and find a way to celebrate that individual in everything that you do. So if there's a corporate change that you're dealing with, my viewer didn't necessarily specify which personal, professional, inside, maybe it's a health diagnosis you're dealing with. There are some amazing cancer warriors that can tell you how to go through your journey and when. There are some individuals walking around without an organ that can tell you how to figure out how to change your eating habits, your lifestyle, your mental state, what you need to do to upgrade and enjoy life, because no one lives forever. Maybe it's your finances that have had a shift. You feel like everybody's leaving you behind because you're seeing everybody buy houses or everyone with new cars. Maybe everybody's got a new boo. You don't know what the difference is that you have in your future. What I can promise you is that where you are now is not where you're going to be this time next year, certainly not 10 years from now, 20 years from now, because where you are now is not where you were 20 years ago. Life is a journey. It's not a destination. Just like success. You may have some wonderful opportunities to celebrate amazing things you've experienced. But do you say, I did that and put a picture tent and now that's your identity forever? Or are you looking for the next big thing? Are you thinking about the next idea? Have you gone from writing articles for publications to writing books to now being a speaker to starting your own podcast? How about your own cable network? To doing things that are bigger. Make your, as my girlfriend says, I don't need to sit at somebody else's table. I'll make my own. Empress, on time, popping. What do you think about that? Like, our viewer is in a place where she's just trying to adapt. What you got for them?
Listen, let me tell you. First of all, I don't know if you're working at a job or it's an entrepreneur or whatever or wherever you may be, but let me tell you this, and I'm gonna go there, and please nobody get offended, but listen, when God moves you, you gotta move. You can't stay there. You can't be stuck. You can't be stagnant. When I tell you, God will say, hey, move. You don't have no answers. Don't allow yourself to flow and go into a stress or a depressed state for anybody. I get it. It may be your livelihood because it's your job. And I'm not telling you to quit your job. However, I'm telling you, your stress is so valuable to your health. Like, I will walk out of anything, a store, wherever I'm at, because having a health condition is serious for me. So if I feel any inch of stress, it's a little disrespectful sometimes, but I politely excuse myself because I'm not going to allow an environment to allow me to stress. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that stress is one of the biggest causes of these health issues and health conditions that we have. Yeah, the doctor is not going to tell you. Of course, they're not going to tell you that. But I know that for a fact because this is something I've been living with and dealing with since 2016. And so being able to really just advocate and push people, like, your mental health that's number one. Making money, yes, we have to pay our bills, but making sure that your mental health is well versed and well taken care of is so huge. It's so huge. Like, You can't allow a job or anybody to put you in a zone of stress, because and then also, I don't know what you've been praying for. Have you been praying and asking God for a new revelation or to move you? Because that's something else that I will attest to and say that sometimes I'll pray and ask for something and something will come up and I'll be like, is this serious right now? And then I'll get the revelation of, girl, hold on, you prayed for something different. You didn't know how it was going to come though. So you do have to be careful too what you pray for and be ready for all the avenues that you may have to go through to get what you're praying for and what you're asking for.
Ooh, that's good stuff. And like I said, on time popping. See how it works? Perfect. Empress, with your heart, one of the things, I don't know if it may have been missed because of technology issues, but I do want to let our viewers know you are a celebrity stylist, and I mean celebrities, heavyweights, and you're a health advocate, as you mentioned earlier, having your own story with autoimmune battles. But with it all, including being a mental health advocate now, also speaking very loudly about suicide prevention and just using your voice across so many different platforms. Our viewer who just mentioned being adaptable, needing to figure out how to shift, needing to uh, deal with this change. I don't know if it was personal, professional, corporate. I don't know if maybe the boo left or if it was a financial hit, or like many have been going through. There's been so many funerals lately. Saying goodbye is a whole nother type of change. What do you have to share in your journey, your experience, to help somebody who has to mentally deal with change before they can even physically come up with how they're going to move forward?
Oh my goodness, that is a very good question. And let me tell, like you said, over my journey from 2016 to now, I've had to deal with it a lot. But most recently in 2023, in June, let me tell y'all how I had a panic attack. I thought that I had things under control. I was good. I was drinking tea. When I had that, and it was over the littlest thing, I'll tell y'all, I live in apartments. I had took the clothes downstairs to put them in the laundry. I guess I wasn't paying attention to what was in the laundry. It was feces. And so when I got my clothes out the laundry, it was poop all over and I lost it. I completely I got to throwing stuff, and then I went to the office and it just a full panic attack. And so the manager there was like, Empress, calm down. I said, I can't. It was so much going on. It wasn't the clothes that triggered the panic attack, because I had so much other stuff going on and I had been trying to hold it together. And so I couldn't calm down. So she kept saying, let's calm down. So after I calmed down, it was just still so much within me. I was like, I'm fighting so much right now. I'm dealing with so much. I was purging friends. I was having relationship issues, financial issues, all of that in one. Dealing with health issues too. And it was just like, what am I supposed to do? And so in that moment, I really was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here. I don't know what this means. And it wasn't necessary. Some people will say it's a suicidal thought, or maybe it was. I can sit here and admit, on your show, on this podcast, maybe it was a suicidal thought, and maybe it was a me just wanting just to erase everything and get away from all the problems, because I was trying to deal with them on my own. I hope y'all hear that ego. I was trying to deal with them on my own. And so in that moment, instead of calling a friend, because I've been through suicidal thoughts before, instead of calling a friend, I just start calling on God. I was like, God, I'm here. I'm coming to you raw, uncut. I don't know how everybody else pray, but this is Empress, and I'm coming to you in my raw form. Hurt. It's so much stuff coming at me. I don't know how to come out of this. I'm in therapy, and obviously I'm holding stuff from my therapist and not really fully getting the full venture of help me, God. All I need is you. And God was like, I've been here the whole time. The people that you thought were your savior was because I sent them, Empress. It wasn't a thing of them coming. I sent them to you. I sent them to you because I know you needed people and you need people to help you. So I sent the right people to you. I've always been here. I've just been waiting on you to call on me. Well, God, here I am. I'm calling on you. Fix everything. Fix everything. And so I feel like from that moment in June 2023, I really started getting on another spiritual journey and taking my spiritual journey a lot more serious than just saying, okay, I'm gonna pray, I'm a sage, I'm a fast. Cool. I really started being more intentional with it. I started listening to a lot more podcasts. When I would go to therapy, I started being more vulnerable and more open and saying, no, you know what? Hey, guess what? I'm gonna say those affirmations, but this is what's really bothering me. Let's dig and let's uncover. And it's not a fun journey. I'll be honest. It's hard as ever. I can, and this may not be a positive thing to say, but I can see why a lot of people don't work on themselves, because when you start uncovering what's really under those layers and what's subconscious, it's ugly. It's not a pretty sight. It's very ugly. And it's like, I have to work on my self-love, my self-awareness, my accountability. And it's little things. It's like, you would think like, dang, I am worthy consciously, because you say affirmations, but subconsciously, you really don't feel like you're worthy for that job or for that man or for those friends or for those clients. And it's like, I can't believe this is how I'm really thinking. No, God, I need to reshift my thoughts. I need to reprogram my thoughts, because this is deep subconscious. And sometimes it's childhood trauma. And some people laugh about that and they say, child, you're an adult now. No, absolutely not. I don't care if you are an adult now. Childhood trauma is a real thing. Mental health is a real thing. And so that's why sometimes I do get irritated when people say, well, just pray and your mindset will get better. No, absolutely not. God placed therapists on this planet for a reason. And so as you're adding in this, adding in the mental health, you got the spirituality. God taps into our spirit, not our mindset. God taps into my spirit. I have to get my mindset right in order to spiritually tune in to what God is telling me to do. Because if my mindset is not there and those emotions are crowding my judgment, then I'm not listening to God. Nobody is. Nobody can fully say if their emotions are clouded, that they're really listening to God. It sounds good, but that's really not what's happening, because this world will be a better place and we will be, in better mental and physical health on this planet, and we're not. And so doing those things, listening to podcasts, reading books, and being intentional with my time. And even recently, I attend Change Church online with Pastor Darius Daniels. When I say he's amazing, he was talking about this past Sunday, discernment. And so I was like, okay, I've been using discernment. I mean, when he broke it down and just really start saying what discernment and using discernment, I was like, I got to get better with using discernment, because I place myself in situations where it's affected my physical and mental health. I've placed myself in those situations, not utilizing my God-given discernment that every single person on this planet has. And so instead of being pointing fingers and being mad at other people, it's more of an accountability thing, like, oh, but then also with that, you have to show yourself grace. Because if you tear yourself down and beat yourself down too much being on this journey, you're going to stay in a depressed mode. And that's not the goal. The goal is to get you out of the depression and uplift you and empower you. So you have to show yourself grace, because God is showing you grace. God already knew you was going to do all this stuff before you did it. So because God is showing us grace, favor, and mercy, I have to tell myself that when I want to go hard and be like, Empress, God is showing you grace. Be accountable and be disciplined, but show yourself grace. And it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be here.
Oh, honey, we're glad to have you. Listen, the wonderful part about being human is the flaws and all. The problem is that we get caught up in judgment and thinking that because other people accent our flaws, that defines us. And I appreciate one of the things that you do in bringing your stylist, over 10 years, like this is your lifeline, and bringing that expertise to the health advocacy is helping individuals know how to accent their bodies. Like, I remember a conversation we had, knowing that I have the scar from the surgery, and I was just listening to the tips. And then in your show, you went further and deeper. And there are ways you can accent different parts of your body. That $1 million question, and I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you right now, for the sisters that are girdled up, the ones that wear, whether it's a belly or a fupa that is now called, what advice? We just gonna jump on in, come on and share with our ladies that want to be better but are worried about how the mirror speaks to us. What could help us to feel like we can, oh, I like how that looks.
That is a really amazing, oh my gosh, $1 million question. When I tell you, you put me on the spot. So here's the first piece of it. As a woman, we all want the perfect, defined hourglass, aka it's not called hourglass, it's really proportion, but the hourglass type shape. And first of all, those are some of the most difficult bodies to dress, because you got the shoulders in this area and the hips, and it lines up, and it's hard to find clothes that fit over that. So a lot of those people get their clothes, like the Kim Kardashians and the oh my gosh, what is her name? It's on the I can't remember her name, but her and a couple of other ladies who have those hourglass shapes, they get their clothes tailored. So that's like the first tip that I would tell anyone. You're going to have to find a good tailor and seamstress, because at the end of the day, and the reality that nobody really wants to hear, is that your clothes are not going to fit. You're not going to go in the store or even order online the perfect outfit that's going to fit. Now, what you will do is find an amazing tailor to where you can order a size up so you can be comfortable and go to your tailor. And this might be pricier, but it's going to help you in so many ways when you find that tailor to tailor your clothes to your body. And ladies, absolutely, I believe in shapewear. Yes, because if those are your problem areas, let's wear shapewear. Let's start wearing shapewear. There's nothing wrong with shape. I love shapewear. Like, shapewear shapes the things that need to be shaped. And so that you can step outside in your clothes with confidence. And then the other thing that I've lately been telling my clients is, what's our exercise plan? You know, when I told one of my clients that, she kind of looked at me and I said, I don't want you to get offended. I said, because I'm talking to myself too. I said, because at the end of the day, I'm taking it back to health. I'm not talking about your aesthetics and your appearance. I'm talking about your health. Why do you think so many celebrities live long? It's not because they're getting surgery. All of them are not getting surgery. Angela Bassett ain't got no surgery. She eats properly and she exercises and she drinks water. So I really tell my clients, like, guess what? I'm not a personal trainer. However, you're going to have an exercise plan and a food plan that's going to help you to build that self-love and confidence enough to where whatever you put on, you're like, I'm loving it. And then the other tip to that is dressing right for your body type. Everything is not made for everyone. I can't even wear everything. Pleated skirts, because I have long legs and I'm tall, don't look good on me. It doesn't look good on any tall woman. More pencil skirts, form-fitting skirts like that, because we have long legs. So we want to highlight the fact that our legs are long versus hiding them and making us look more snug. Like, no. And then the other aspect I add in as a stylist with my clients is the mindset work, the mental health work, you know, and if I need to refer out to therapists and life coaches, I'm able to do that. But I just really feel like God, you know, put me in this place, in this position to go through the mental health stuff, the suicide, the health issues of Sjogren's, of lupus, and fibromyalgia, so that I'm able to help women on a deeper level versus just, oh, girl, I'm gonna put you in this cute outfit. No, guess what, girl? These are the things that I experience and deal with. So I'm talking to you from that level so that you really appreciate and understand the full experience of the styling service. And I used to run from it, and I used to be so mad at God. And now I'm so grateful because God was like, this is your calling. This is your calling, Empress. And I need you to step and walk into your calling full-fledged with confidence. So here I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the world is better, honey, because we have Miss Empress. Empress, tell folks how they can contact you.
So listen, you guys can follow me. I finally streamlined my social media, so it's a little bit more strategic. So it's at dressed, and it's DRESSED.2TO.impress, EMPRESS, which is also my tagline, Dressed Impress. Also, our website is www.the Style Life, which is TheStyleLyfe.com. And then you can also contact me by email if you want to. So it's going to be The Style Life, spelled the same, TheStyleLyfe@gmail.com.
I made sure to pull out the pen and paper. I got it. All right. TheStyleLife.com. Listen, this lady is all over the place, all over the world, and has grown so much with her reputation where celebrities are seeking you. Empress, before we let you go, and thank you so much because you said something that was key earlier in the interview about how stress impacts your everything, every part of you. And then you ended it by reminding us that so does healthy living. Tell me, if you would, as we end this wonderful opportunity to be together, what advice or tips or closing comments would you share with someone who is struggling, not just learning how to adapt and change, but maybe someone heard you say the word suicide and started to listen a little more deeply? Or maybe someone has internal fears and didn't think that they had anything wrong and don't know how to move forward with even voicing where they are. What are the first steps or tips or encouragement that you would share with someone who just needs to hear hope?
Yes, that's so good. And thank you so much for asking that. And I just wanted to give the disclaimer that I'm not a licensed professional counselor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any of those things, but I am the advocate because these are the things that I've experienced. Not just people around me, but these are the things that I've experienced or am still experiencing. And so the first step is becoming aware of what it is internally, because it's a feeling you can feel. And I want y'all to understand how valuable and important that is, because just like when God nudges us and we feel that spiritually, because we all do. It's not a one person has the gift. We all have that gift. When God nudges us, we feel it. So it's the same thing. The heart starts racing. The head starts hurting. The stomach starts feeling nauseated. Those are symptoms. And we have to start addressing them versus just saying, okay, maybe no, you're stressing. And if you can't combat it yourself, please, 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 betterhelp.com. And that's not where my therapist is, but I promise, like, I've went through just to see how it works. Betterhelp.com, that is a step, because I don't want anyone out here dealing with mental health issues, thinking suicidal thoughts, and then they don't get the help they need. And I think that's so important. And it's so crazy because, yes, I want you to pray to God and I want you to talk to God too. However, I want you to bring the mental health in and understand that it's okay if you have to go to see a therapist, because that's what they're licensed for. God placed them on this planet to help with mental health. It's not a stigma. You're not crazy. You're helping yourself to get through and get past everything that you have internally going on. So yes, that is an absolute step. There are so many other things, meditation, prayer, and it all works. But I want you to reach out to somebody to get the assistance and get the help that you need, so that you don't take that step, that inch, because you never know what will set you off. Literally, I promise. If there is so much stuff going on mentally and emotionally, there's the slightest little thing that can be said, done in your life, and it'll just set you over the edge. And that's not what we want. So we want to tackle it now. with a licensed professional counselor so that we can, and then I'll even say this, I'll share this with you guys. We're live, I'll share it with you. Going to therapy has actually helped my relationship spiritually with God, and me to be able to build a relationship with God, me to be able to dive and understand my Bible from what God is trying to say, not what the humans are saying, but what God is saying to me for my life. And so that's something else I'll definitely share. So, yeah.
Great tips. Thank you so much, Empress. Health matters, stress matters. Another thing you said is excusing yourself from an environment if it's not conducive for you. That matters. Mental state matters. Before you can make a change, you got to make a decision that a change needs to happen. And then, of course, it's a slogan now, but it is a true statement. It's okay to not be okay. Have a therapist. As you said, Empress, there are professionals here for a reason. Skilled, educated, and a safe space. That's one of the important things. I also do want to put a plug out there that if you are employed with an organization, they tend to have part of your health insurance includes medical health benefits for your mind. Mental health, in other words, doctor, medical services where your insurance can cover that. And for those who might not be gainfully employed, there are free pro bono counselors and therapists out there. Consider walking into a church. Consider local groups. There are youth advocacy outreach programs. There are people who are paid through different grants that all they do is street outreach or be available. There is at this point people everywhere on every level that can be there to help you. Empress, I'm a law enforcement chaplain on the side. My whole job is to have that space for those who serve and protect. And we don't think about it when they go running towards the bullets and we go running away from it, that has an impact. But we want to make sure that no matter what level and what part of life, you have someone and a space. And family, she just shared her contact information with you. If you want some more, Empress, you want to ask her about those skirts, and you want to get some more of the ideas on the suits, jackets. One of the tips she gave a long time ago, I live by today, is a statement piece. Miss Empress, you did a whole show on statement pieces. I am learning, and I thank you for continuing to use your voice. Again, Helen from Austin, Texas, we're so glad you joined us on the Power Up today. Family, she will be back continuing to advocate and share her voice, because here on the Power Up, we want to equip and educate you so you can make a difference. Thank you so much, Empress family. Stay tuned. There's more after this.
Hey, 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 how you guys doing? This is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner at Empower Mornings. Join me every Monday at noon to work out with Regina on One Network.
Family, what a powerful, amazing show. I've learned so much. Thank you to our production team for the excellence that they use behind the scene to make sure this is a quality show, not just one looking to spend an hour of your time. We started with Inside the News and information that has hit the scene. Many of us have known who live with autoimmune disorders, but we're grateful that the Washington Post elevated that scientists finally have proof, genetic proof, that can help work towards a cure as to why 4 out of 5 women live with an autoimmune disorder. 4 out of 5. Family, consider how many women you're around every day. Most of them live with an autoimmune disorder. Might not be on a major scale where it needs medication. May just be that they're noticing things about themselves. could be you. Make sure that you tap into autoimmune.org, the Autoimmune Foundation, that can share information to help educate you so that when you go see your doctor, you can say, I've been feeling a whole lot of the things on this list. Blood work will confirm if you have high blood platelets, if there are counts in different categories that will say lupus, Sjogren's, grave disease, fibromyalgia, will say over 100 disorders, rheumatoid arthritis impacts how you move every day. You're wondering why that family member is having problems just getting out of bed? Could be a number of issues. And you may have learned something today that can help them. Go to autoimmune.org for more information. And to the Sjogren's Foundation, who shares information on Sjogren's syndrome. You can go to Sjogren's, SJOGRENS.org, one of the many autoimmune disorders. But again, your autoimmune system is the one that helps you fight all the things you deal with, helps you deal with a cold not becoming a death sentence. But it starts immediately with your blood count starting to produce what's necessary to fight that off. Autoimmune disorder means that as your body gets ready to fight, sadly, it fights itself. It's autoimmune. So instead of it fighting the cold, because I'm dealing with all the things that happen during allergy season, instead of it being ready to fight that, it starts fighting my organs. It fights my heart. It'll fight my kidneys. There are celebrities. You can Google celebrities with autoimmune disease, and it would surprise you how many have stood up to say something has to change. Thank you so much, Empress, for joining us from Austin, Texas, the celebrity super stylist to the stars. We didn't name drop on the folks that she's been working with because that's not what it's about. Her wonderful support advocacy that she does with those individuals is such a personal touch. And you can check her out on her show and her email address and website anytime to get more information. I promise you, I learn something every time she steps in front of that closet and talks about how jackets can fall differently, how pieces can accent your neck if you have a long neck, or if you have chubby cheeks, how a different type of eyeglass frame can make a difference. Come on, somebody. Little things that just make you go, ooh. Empress Bay, a powerful voice and one who's lived a journey she's not scared to share to help somebody else along the way. Feel free to reach out to Empress Bay. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to having her back. And then we also responded to a viewer inquiry, someone dealing with adaptability, dealing with change and feeling like they were left behind. Family, how do you adapt? Stay positive in it all. Acknowledge and recognize that it's okay because where I am now is not where I'm always going to be. Learn from the situations where I had to adapt before. As a coach, one of the questions I often ask executives, C-suite executives, or even those entrepreneurs just starting out when they're dealing with a struggle is, have you ever been in this state before? Does this place sound familiar? And if so, what did you do then that you could use now? Because if he did it before, brought you through that stuff, he can do it again. What helped you in the last time you had to adapt? The last time you said goodbye to a loved one? The last time you left a job and started anew? The last time you relocated and moved from one city or state to another? The last time you shifted in life, had another birthday, gravity starting to take over? You're alive. As long as you're alive, you're going to deal with change and shifts. How you adapt starts with accepting the change, staying positive throughout the change. Upgrade your friends. Have people pour into you that positive energy. Connect with the We Empower Nation on Facebook. Come on, plug. Get with folks who have a way of positivity, raising that information. Whether you are a believer in one faith or not, it's all about being this one human race. Women holding up women, men holding up men, couples holding up couples, and even singles that have a way of helping other singles. Because we're all in this journey of life together. You don't have to go it alone. Here's the thing, even when you feel alone, and I mean surrounded by people, even when you feel it, here's something that Empress said today. Connect with other resources around you. If you're very high profile and you can't have your business in the street, or you're worried about TMZ or other social media putting your news on blast, there's still ways you can get the support you need in confidence. There's confidential support, therapists, priests, parishioners. There's mentors. Someone else you see winning can share in their journey with what helped them through their advisors. There are people out there just experts in the field, ready to share insight you may not even have. Financial advisors are priceless. You don't have to get out there and lose all your money in the stock market. Talk to folks that deal with it, live in it every day. Family, you deserve to be happy. And I want you to know that once you get past this change and you are got a new job or a new house, or you have the new relationship, your mental state is up and you feel good, there's going to be another change. Another time you'll have to adapt. You might not be a senior yet. Golden years have its own struggles. Family, there's so much in front of you, but take no thought for tomorrow. It's got its own problems waiting. In this moment, decide I'm going to take hold of it. Okay, I got to 2 weeks notice. That gives me 2 weeks to start tapping in and talking to folks and figuring out how I'm going to make this great. Not saying it won't hurt, just saying that sometimes things that don't feel good to you are still good for you. Family, we're so glad that you joined us today on the Power Up. Can I tell you, this show was good to me. We always want to thank our first responders, 911. We thank our police and firefighters, those who put themselves in harm's way. Our medical professionals, you go to a hospital coughing on them, they don't know what they're going to see on a daily basis. Our caregivers who are so kind to our elderly, and our children, thank you, teachers. We thank all of you who serve in whatever capacity with kindness. We also thank the veterans who are trailblazers, and our active military and their families who let them go across the water to serve and protect just so we can disagree. Come on, family. We thank you, military, and all those who do what you do with excellence and greatness. Listen, I'm going to steal this from a philanthropist that I adore, Mr. Kevin Mack. Make excellence your brand. Everything that you do, people should leave thinking, wow, or you should feel like, I did that, and stop looking for validation from others. You know why? Because you deserve everything you see everybody else winning and living. We're so glad you joined us today. Thank you, production team, for another great show. Family, we will see you the same time every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, for another show. Have a wonderful day. Until we meet again, stay powered up.